Alrighty guys, so we're going to wrap up this short little unit that we've been working on, and today we're going to be talking about volume. So we're still in the 3D world, and we talked about surface area before. And remember, surface area we define as you add up all the faces, or it's all the area on the outside of the figure. Okay. Um, Volume is how much can you put inside the figure. Okay. So this would be like if you're uh, filling a tub full of water, how much water can you put in there? That's the thinking for volume. All right. And some of this you're probably already familiar with, and I'm going to show you a couple of things that I think are a little bit different than you've probably done before. Um, but it's essentially the same work you've been doing. Okay. And so again, I'm going to chunk this into sections. So I'm going to do the prisms volume, cylinder volume, sphere volume. That way, you're not overwhelmed having to watch a 45-minute long video. You can, watch one video at a time, go work on some problems, then come back and do the second set or whatever you want to do. All right. So we'll start with prisms, and again, I'll model what I want you to do and show you two more examples. Now let me get some. I'm gonna get a couple of colors because I like the color code. So the formula I'm going to show you here is applicable for prisms and cylinders. It's the same formula, okay? Let me start with my black one. So volume is going to equal, and this is going to be a capital B times H. Okay? So volume is capital B times H. What does capital B mean? That is going to be the area of the base. So we're going to let one of these faces of our prism be the base. In other words, like the bottom, okay? And then H is going to be the height of the prism. Okay? And so I'm going to color code what I'm going to call the base and the height. But again, yours could look a little different. Okay? I generally like to think of the base as the bottom. So if I turn this box and set it flat down, what would the base be? And for me, it looks like this one. All right, and I'm going to color that in. Or I guess I should have shaded, but whatever. Okay, that purple is going to be my base. So now, I know I like to think about it this way because if you have a base, right, and volume is kind of like you have the base and you start stacking up a bunch of copies of that base. So your prism starts out flat and then you kind of pull it up so that you get the 3 dimensions. So first of all, let's see if I know my dimensions. I know that this side is 5 centimeters. What is this one? Well, it's a little bit longer than the 5, and so looking in the figure, the only one that's a little bit longer is 7. So this unknown side is 7 centimeters. So my base is a 5 by 7 rectangle. What's my height? Well, it's going to be this extra length right here. That's going to be my height. And then this purple square is my, or rectangle, excuse me, is my base, my area base. So I always write them out like this. So it's BH. Now the base is a rectangle, so I'm going to put the area of my big base in here. Well, that's a 5 by 7, so that is 5 times 7. And then what's my height? It's this other 5. And so I'm going to type 5 times 7 times 5 into a calculator, and you get 175 centimeters. Now this is volume. We're in 3 dimensions now, so this is actually going to be the cube. Okay, remember surface area, we still called it squared because it's area. Volume is the only one that you're going to be cubed on your units. Okay? Now let me add something here. You're probably used to thinking about volume when you have a box, which is what we're doing here. You're probably used to length times width times height. And that's really what I've done. But I've kind of restructured it, okay? So let me add over here in my black pen. You're used to this. Length times width times height. Okay? These are the same formula, but instead of saying this, I'm letting that be capital B. Okay? So I know I'm kind of beating a dead horse here, but if you want to use length times width times height instead of this way, that's fine. But just know, length times width times height only works for boxes. Okay? We're going to use this on our cylinders in a moment. But I went ahead and showed it to you here because I like this way better than this one. It reduces the amount of formulas you have to remember, I think. Okay. So we are always going to work with volume is base times height. And the big B is area of the base. So I'm going to choose one of these sides of the box to be my base. And I just happen to pick this one. For some reason, I felt like this could be the base. I wanted this to be the base. It honestly doesn't matter which one you let be the base. And then that forces this 12 to be my height. So that's my H. And then this purple rectangle is my base, area base. So volume is going to equal the area of my base, which is a 4 by 7 rectangle, 4 by 7, and then multiply by my height. So 4 times 7 times 12 ends up being 336 yards cubed. Okay. Same thing. Again, I'm going to let the top, I can't draw a straight line to save my life. I'm going to let this top be my base. Which means that going this way, that's my height. So volume is area of the base times the height. What's my area base? That is 3 times 4 times another 4. Then 3 times 4 times 4, 48 cubic feet is my volume. Okay? So that's volume of prisms. All right? And this process that we used up here, we're going to use it again in the next video for our volume of cylinders. So be on the lookout for that. And as always, if you have questions about prisms volume, let me know.